Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. If you want to show even more support, go ahead to patreon.com/partywithstrategy. Subscribe. $5 a month gets you an extra pod a week. That's double the content. 4 extra episodes a month. Only $5. In a time where we're paying more and getting less, I'm bringing back pay less and get more. Let's go, champ. Patreon.com/partywithstrategy. Show some love. Show some support. Enjoy the episode. Let's get back to it. Speaking of Chicago and all the areas they have, how's your Pride Month going?
My Pride Month?
Yeah.
It's going fine. I didn't really celebrate Pride.
You haven't celebrated yet?
No, I haven't celebrated. Actually, I would say the most, I get to work with Alpi every day.
That is the most Pride celebration that you could possibly get.
I don't need to celebrate anything. I get him every day. Yeah. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
He's works for us and he's got the energy and we're
Where
good.
does he get all that energy?
It's just natural, man.
Where does he get all that energy?
I think it's natural energy.
I mean, I see the kid on Fridays when I'm coming in there at 4 to open the place up on the roof, and he's already torqued. He's already going.
You know, I have so many amazing stories about him, and they're all funny. We should just
tell him because he won't come on the pod. He refuses.
Oh, for real?
He's I think he's a little nervous.
I would 100% try to convince him to go.
I want to convince him to go as well.
I think we can convince him.
I feel like maybe if we caught him on the right day, he's a little nervous. But here's the thing, like, there's certain people that I think would be fantastic, and it's always fun when I'm talking to Albie. We make fun of each other. We talk a lot of shit. It's like, it's a good time. It's like the perfect thing you want for a pod. I think he's scared that he's going to say something that he regrets or something like that. But for that, like, I always tell people, I'm like, we could film it and then you can watch it. I don't have to release it. If you don't want to release, we don't have to release it. I got a couple episodes that are in the vault that are never coming out because people got a little nervous after, which is fine. But I just need to know ahead of time because I need a scheduling.
The vault is bullshit.
Well, I mean, I'm not here to like fuck anyone over. You know what I'm saying?
You don't like, I don't hard like that, but you can finesse it, tweak it a little bit.
There's only so much editing you can do on a pod because like me and Diamond Cut had one with these 2 girls who were like young 21-year-old just hired by All Access promoters, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Like just running their mouths about the wildest shit and like trying to get as crazy as they could, right? And then afterwards I sent it to them to watch and they're like, oh, I don't know, we should cut this part out, we should cut that part out. And then there becomes a point where you're cutting so much out that you're left with nothing, and nothing really makes sense because a lot of it is like reference to what you had said earlier, and like it just at some point it's so botched you can't even put it out. So like you could edit a few things out, but once there's a limit for sure.
Absolutely. I think, you know, I appreciate your podcast. I appreciate what you're doing here in Chicago. I don't feel like there's someone that's really doing it consistently. We always hear about everyone wanting to start their own podcast. I'm still trying to start my own podcast. I think the thing is what my ideas are just like I think the only person that could probably help me with my ideas is you because of your experience and because you're well versed in different areas. You understand comedy. You understand like sarcasm. You know, you've been around the block a little bit to know how to like put those things together. But in Chicago, you're the only one that's doing it, really. There's some people that done an episode or another episode. Consistency is the most important thing. You're hitting it every Monday. You're getting dynamic people in here. You had one of my mentors in here, Arturo Gomez. You had one of the people that I look up to in Carmen Rossi. You've had people that I've worked side by side with, and you know, Morgan and Stu and Dan. And did you have Phil yet?
Phil, I I don't think Phil likes me that much, to be honest.
Really? Phil,
especially enough to come on the
him?
podcast.
Me and Phil should go together. Phil, we should do this together one day.
If you can get Phil on here, I would gladly have him. I think he's got a lot of stories. He's been in the game for a minute.
Yeah,
but
fun.
Every time I see him now, I'm like, I try and say what's up, and he's like, he's like, hey, how you doing? Like, gives me a handshake and like rushes away.
Yeah,
like I got something better to do.
Nah, that's just everyone. That's just how it is. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Move on. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's commendable. I appreciate it. It lets people that are in the scene, wanting to get in the scene, or just fans of yours that are not even in the scene or anything like that, understand some of the characters in it, right? Which is pretty important. Actually, last time I went on your podcast, people came up to me and they were like, yo, are you Jamel? And if you know me well enough, if someone's asking me like, yo, are you Jamel? And I don't fucking know you.
Yeah, you think they're going to serve you papers or something.
No, not even. I'm like, who the fuck's asking? You know what I mean? Like, does this guy got some beef with me that I don't know about? Why the fuck are you asking me who I am, right? So I'm like, what's it to you? It's like, no. No, man, I just want to say the podcast you did with Strategy was awesome. And da-da-da. I'm like, oh, shit, my bad.
Nice.
You want to do a shot? I'm sorry. What the hell?
That's tight. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm trying to stay consistent for sure. Getting good guests is tough. A lot of people are nervous to talk. There's a ton of people who I'd love to have who are like, I don't know. I got to kind of convince them, but it's been great. The Arturo episode was amazing, bro. That guy's got so much knowledge.
For sure.
I would love to get more like old school owners in here, people that have been in the game for a minute, because like I just feel like we're in such a weird place right now in nightlife.
Yeah, we are.
It's really nice to hear what they have to say and try and compare now to any other time that they've maybe experienced where it was like, yeah, I've seen it like this before.
Yeah.
Get some hope.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been doing this for so long now. I feel like I'm a journeyman too, you know what I mean? Because I've worked at a lot of the places in the city of Chicago. I've worked for several venues, several leaders. I've learned from a lot of different people. You kind of start realizing over time where some of the, your colleagues or people that work at other venues, where their DNA comes from. Meaning like, where did they learn from, and what were you doing when you were the 20-something-year-old, right? Like, I work with Jabber now. Jabber's great. OG, holding it down, kills it for us at Joy. Like, he absolutely is so valuable at Joy with what he does. And
what do you think's one thing that Jabber does best, if you could say? Obviously, a bunch of stuff. He's great at his entire job. But what do you think, like, when you think of Jabber, what's one thing?
He's sharp.
Yeah.
He's sharp. He'll do $1 million in sales in a year, which is phenomenal. That's top of the line anywhere in Vegas, wherever, especially in Chicago. So, but when he's working, he sees what's happening. So if things are not coming out right away, and it's delayed, by things I mean bottles and the girls aren't moving fast enough.
Right.
He'll notice it right away, and he'll apply the pressure right away too, and it comes out right away. So they respect them, and they'll move fast. Same with host. So when it comes to, when you see something lagging, and then you act right away, it's jump starts that engine again. So he's really good at just reading the room and directing from where he's at. That's very important.
Like a good coach.
Good coach.
He's got the team running smoothly. Yes. He knows everyone's high points and assets and works everyone with each other well.
Exactly. And to be honest, if someone isn't doing their part, he'll let them know right there. You know what I mean? Hey, you need to do your part. You're not thinking like, why are you talking about that when you need to be talking about this? And every time I'm like, damn, I didn't even have to say anything. This guy just covered it for me. You know what I mean? I'm thinking and I'm about to say it and he's saying it.
Yeah.
Right? It's too late.
Okay. That's
so
good.
Yeah, it's very good. But like, let's say Jabber, right? Jabber came from, he was promoting. He did Elite Chicago. That was the name of the promotional company back then. So his crowd.
That was like 85, right?
1985
No, I'm
with the
kidding,
85
I'm
Bulls.
kidding.
1985, he was wearing the retro Jordans. He still has them, $25,000. No. He was that promoter back then. And then I think back then I was working for Global Adrenaline, which is like,
That was another promo company?
yeah, Global Adrenaline.
Whose company was
Elite,
that?
Surreal, and I forgot what other companies there. Oh, and there was oh fuck, what was Dante? Dante was
Dante
Outfit
had
Events.
Outfit, yep.
So those were like the big companies. I'm gonna say that the biggest. Oh, and then there was Promo 7.
They were around all the way back then?
Yeah, so Promo 7, Elite, Global Adrenaline, Surreal.
What about Wingman? Wingman was around at some point, right?
I don't even know. I don't know. It was an Outfit Events.
Well, all these promo companies, what was like the hottest club at the time that they were all prominent?
The hottest clubs. Every club had a hot. There was multiple hot clubs, but they had hot nights. You always want to make money on your Friday, Saturday, but like let's just say, back in those days, let's just say Tuesdays was Stone Lotus, right? Or even in these days, I would say Wednesdays was like Moda, and then you had like what's the place that Hush used to be back in the day, like Dragon something?
Martini Ranch.
Martini Ranch. Promo 7 had one of the best parties at Martini Ranch. Global Adrenaline had a sick-ass party on Fridays at Y Bar. Oh, Tony Macy was another character back then. Elite had multiple venues because they just had like...
And Elite was Jabber's company, right?
Yeah. He used to crush it. There was like Level... Remember Level back in the day?
It's before my time.
Oh, really? Fuck.
What is Level now?
Level used to be... Level is the place right next to Bellevue, that big building that's just not occupied.
Where at? On what street?
Wherever Tavern Rush is Bellevue. So that street, right on Rush Street. So
it's
that
over...
big building.
Okay, it's on Rush.
The corner. Yep.
Okay.
It used to be called Proof.
Okay, Proof. Okay,
Proof.
I got you.
So you had Y Bar, you had Rhino, which is, Rhino back then was Boardroom, Boardroom. Rhino became Boardroom, which was James Brown. Then you had Y Bar, Enclave. Enclave was one of our parties on Thursday. That was a sick ass party. Where Rhino is now was what was it
Manor.
Called? Manor. You had Crowbar,
which is Prism now.
Prism, yes. You had the Mid.
R.I.P. The Mid. I think I have some of my favorite memories at the Mid, like
Crescendo,
getting into the game.
Yeah, there was so many, and those clubs were sexy back then. Like Crescendo was a sexy ass club. Y Bar was the sexiest club in the fucking city.
Really,
right? Dude, it was the baddest. It used to be one of the best clubs in the whole city. Like you couldn't even get in. Type place, you know what I mean?
It's crazy that they're still around.
They're still around. Soundbar, right? That's the same. So, and then you see like who worked back then, like I used to work with Sean Winky and at Y Bar.
Damn.
And Crescendo.
Is he still with Oris, right? Oris Presents?
He's still with the same crew. He's with all those guys running it over there, doing a great job. So you get to see like the DNA of where all these people, and it's crazy. Like now we're all grown up, we're all adults, and
what's the next move? I feel like I'm getting old and I want to fucking invest into some new shit. I got to be part of. I got to take everything that I've learned along this journey and try and go for it. Go for the gold. You know what I'm saying? I want that Concrete Cowboy late night license that's just sitting there on the corner of
that's
fucking
never gonna happen.
Franklin and Erie.
That they lost their license.
Oh, the license is gone?
That one's gone.
It's done.
Done.
Damn.
Forever and ever.
Wrecked.
Gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Man. I was actually just having this conversation with a very close friend of mine last week, and I was like, I've been doing this for so long. I thought that I'd be here already, and I'm not. And I have all of these things that I can do and bring to the table. But you know what? I don't know how to do this.
What's this?
Like,
what piece of the...
It's something that you should have someone else do because it's really time consuming. Like creating a deck. Like let's say I saw a location this location could be great, and I have this concept. And sometimes the concepts don't match the location, right? But let's just, for example, and I have to create a deck now, and I also have to get in there before someone else gets in there, and then you have to raise the money up, and you have to go around and start raising money, and you know, not a lot of people want to just get into nightclubs and take that risk unless they're backed by a powerhouse person that's already got that market, right? Like, you know, Carmen has, like, if let's just use his name as an example. He's a powerhouse that if he came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm trying to raise money. I'm gonna give you my money."
Right. You know, it's proof. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, the guy's got a bunch of spots.
Now, if Jamel comes in here to take a chance, some work to do, right? We got some work to do.
Yeah, but you know enough people to obviously put it together. You could potentially even get Carmen or someone with that resume
exactly
to be like, yeah, I mean, look at, obviously you work for me, I know you're amazing at what you do, you've been around forever, look at this deck you made, this idea you have is incredible. I feel like you could easily put that all together.
If someone's a smart businessman and it makes sense, why not, right? That's what you hope for. So, you know, that's what I would hope for too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing.
The Party with Strategy podcast has a brand new sponsor. Make sure you guys go check out Rendezvous Limousine Services for any of your travel needs around the Midwest. It's the best you can get, top notch. Let's be honest, everyone's a little sick of buying Ubers, getting charged for Uber X's like they're black cars, and you know, the market's just not what it used to be. You might as well go with your best bet, Rendezvous Limo Service. They got party buses, they got Sprinter vans, they got Escalades, they got Navigators. Only the best of the best. Make sure you check out Rendezvous Limousine. You can find them on Instagram at RNDZ Limo or their website, Rendezvous Limousine. If you're grammatically challenged like myself, Rendezvous is RENDEZVOUS. And we might as well do limousine as well. LIMOUSINE. Rendezvous Limousine, best you can get anywhere you want to go in the Midwest. Airport pickups, drop-offs, party buses, just going to see a friend. Do it in style. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching. What about like English is just sitting there on LaSalle empty?
Forever.
Why has it been empty for so? There's got to be like they either lost their luck, because isn't that a 4 a.m. too, or no? Was that just regular?
I don't think it is.
No,
but it's still. Remember back in the day? Did you ever go into that place when it was open?
I never went.
It was cool, man.
I was too young. I had a fake ID. We tried to get into the LaSalle Power Co. They didn't let us in, and then the bouncers like flashed down the street to the bouncers at English, letting them know like these guys are all underage, so we couldn't get in.
That place was cool. It was big. It was really big. I went in one time, and it was for St. Patty's Day years ago, and I thought it was the coolest place ever. But that place, you can make multiple places. It's got a parking lot. It's on LaSalle. It's in the mix of the neighborhood. I don't know what's going on. That's a very good question.
Well, what about like Vinyl sitting on the corner of fucking Hubbard and LaSalle? It's just been nothing forever.
I think there's, man, dude, you hear all this chatter about people like there's this thing coming up, you know, we're going to be opening up these places. I'm like, what fucking place is it? Just tell me. Where are you going to go? You know, there's things happening. There's people making moves. I guess there's more moves to be made in West Loop. That's like our new River North, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Again, but it's all restaurants, you know, it's my age demographic. It's my group. So whenever we were kids, we did whatever we did, but my group now is doing that. We're in the West Loop. We're going to dinners. We like to still drink and party, but we like to go home a little bit early. We do party, but we party outside of Chicago. You know, that's where they do their hard partying, where they're spending the $10,000, $5,000, $3,000 consistently, or they're doing a $1,500 dinner, $2,000 dinner, or whatever it may be. But they're staying over there because it looks good. It looks clean. Everyone's dressed well. Everyone looks like they have money, or they do have money. And then the women and everyone looks clean, right? It's a little bit loose. Other areas, you know, it's a little bit looser. You know,
yeah.
People are younger, louder. When you tell them, hey, can you please get off the sidewalk? It takes a little bit of time, as opposed to like telling an adult, hey, you're in, thank you. We'll move right out the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough to wrangle people. Everyone's so entitled these days. I see that a lot. Because I remember, like, even fucking homeless people that nobody wants around. I'm going to be honest. Let's just be honest about it. Nobody wants them on the streets where we're trying to have dinners and things. Like, help them out for sure. Let's fucking put them in a building with food and shit. But, like, let's be honest. No one wants them on the sidewalk bothering people. Yeah. And it used to be like, the police could just be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. Everyone's so entitled and like weird and shit that you like can't even do that now. And it's just like, we're not going to get anywhere without that shit.
It's not every city is the same, right? I think politics plays a big part of everything. Chicago Police Department, you have some amazing police officers out there. I have a lot of family members that are in the police department. And then you have some, this is from me looking from the outside looking in. I was in the military. I went to the police academy. I've done a lot of these different things. So I feel like I know what it takes to be able to protect someone, right? And I feel like there's a lot of police that are not policing. I feel like there's a lot of police that are behind the desk because they don't even know how to probably use their weapon properly. You know what I mean? So, and then also their hands are tied because they can't even go after certain things because the state and the city has put like, hey, you can't go after these type of felonies. You know what I mean? So like they just sit back and watch. It sucks. It's really difficult. They can't even go, and God forbid you bother someone, you get sued or something like that.
You get sued, you're on video, you're fucking demonized, though millions and millions of people hate you and they're threatening you and your family. And like, I mean, when I worked on fucking Division Street, there was homeless people that would try and bother the patrons all the time, and the police would get them to move. And I remember one night this dude was just being a dick and like was not complying, and it's very obvious that he's not anywhere that he should be. And the police officer took his bag and just fucking threw it and was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. And then he left. He went and got his bag and he was gone. And that's
Chicago used to have balls.
But you can't do that anymore because it's, fucking, it's going to be a huge issue. Yeah.
Chicago used to have balls and now we got clipped. We used to be able to fly. The wings are clipped too. I should have said that instead of the balls.
It's like, it's fucking... It went so far in a bad direction that it's like the overcorrection is to be like, you can't even tell someone to move. Like they're not breaking the law. You can't even do anything.
You're impeding on their rights.
Yeah. You have to, it's like now we have to wait for the pendulum to settle in the middle. It got so crazy that they were just beating people up and whatever, doing, being fucking gangsters, and no one wants that either, but there's got to be some balance. You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, that's balance, yes. But I think the balance was there when there was a little bit of like, when I was younger, if someone had a problem, not that you handle problems this way. I realize that now that I'm older, mature, I have a son, he's 13. I don't want him to do the same things I did. But back in the day, if someone had a problem, you used to fight. There used to be fist fights, right? Like, outside the club, inside the club, whatever it is, like you don't want that, right? But I remember like some people deserved an ass whooping. Like they think that they're so hard, whatever, and they really genuinely deserve to get their ass whooped because they probably never got their ass whooped before. Now is the case. Like now all these people, they're like, call you a B word, call you this, disrespect you. It could be me, it could be the owner of a venue, it could be, and for no reason, because they just talk with a loose tongue. And they think that you're not, they don't know that you're tough or you're not tough. No one knows, right? Until it happens. And it's crazy because I used to think, I'm hearing these people, like even when I feel disrespected, I'm like, man, I can like seriously damage this person if I was really going to do that. And then you realize this person's never got their ass kicked. They've never gotten a real fight. They've never been through that. You know what I mean? And they probably never even got spanked or reprimanded from their parents, right? And that's why they are who they are now. I think Chicago right now, a lot of these people, they're just like you said, entitled. They haven't been reprimanded. They don't live a tight life. They live like this open life where they can get away with murder pretty much. And that's not how things are. Like, what happened to the standards? What happened to like values? What happened to all these different things that we used to talk about, that used to be like instilled in us by our family and by our culture and by our friends, and just trying to be better because we want to have like this purpose and say, hey, we want to be like, I look up to that person. I would like to be like that person one day, as opposed to like just not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like people don't care as much as they used to care. I want to look this way. I want to feel this way. I want other people to feel good too, instead of like, I'm having this type of day and everyone else is going to have that type of day now. I don't know what's going on. I think things are changing, but fast.
Yeah, I think it's coming. I mean, it's about to be fucking election season, which always gets mad crazy.
Well,
it gets real nutty.
I'm so curious to see how this is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. Trump's going to like try to dominate and just stomp Biden to death. And Biden, has the media showed us that Biden's like falling asleep and it's all bullshit, and he's actually going to go up there, grab the microphone and just be tough?
He just starts spitting.
Yeah, like, is he just going to actually be sharp, or is he going to turn around and not know where he's at? Like, because we don't know what's real, right? It could all be media. Like, we only see what our algorithm is showing us. My algorithm might be showing, I think it's funny, I like it when Biden's shaking some kid's hand when the fucking speech is over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But is that real life?
That's true. That's a good perspective. I really just love how all the clubs are making flyers and like throwing parties for the debate to show it. Did you see ours? Yeah, I've seen everyone's. It's incredible. I kind of like want to go out and watch it in public with people.
Come with me tomorrow. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be like game sound on.
Yeah, I know. They're doing it like it's a football game.
I'm telling you right now, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, you can invite whoever you want. You can invite your girlfriend. You can invite your best friends, whoever you want. Yeah. I'm letting you know right now.
I mean, it sounds fun, but truthfully, I don't want to be out for that because it's just going to be mayhem. Like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but also there's just it's so divisive. There's the two sides. I mean, for the most part, I feel like anyone who's like going out is probably they're all on the same side. Yeah, so that's good. But I just don't even want to be in the streets. Like, it's such a divisive thing, and it makes people so crazy. You think
something will happen?
I mean, not really. I don't like think that there's going to be some sort of attack or anything, but like I'm chilling in the crib. I'm off. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think about that right now? Like, so we have this moment in our life right now where we have Biden and Trump, which, by the way, I feel like kind of seems like an end of the world scenario, right? If Biden and Trump, like who's going to win? Multiple wars all over the world, not just one area. And does the fate of like our future, it's on these two people, right? Man, it's crazy. And it's funny because like in my life, in my personal life, I have people that are Republican. I have people in my family that are Democrats, more middle left, and then some middle right, but more in the middle. And it's like, I personally feel like I can understand both sides. You know what I mean? I really can. I feel that. Obviously, I have my own convictions on what I believe in, but I don't know, man. It's scary. I'm scared. I'm actually scared for what's going to happen. I think I'd rather have someone that's more conservative, for just to stick to the core values of our founding fathers, but it's scary.
It's definitely terrifying, and I feel like that's sort of the ritual of how it always works. Is like we have Democrat in there now, right? And then everyone's so mad, and there's all these issues, and everyone's blaming everyone for everything, and then it kind of swings the other way. We'll probably get a Republican, and then it'll be people are happy.
Yeah.
The other side's worked up, and over the next 4 years, any little thing that goes wrong is look at this, and so it just goes back and forth, and it's like we're never one united group of people, which we're supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that purposeful? Is it not purposeful? Is this human nature? What is it? Right? I mean, I don't know. Does it ever go to the left so far that it becomes, man, we got to go so far right, but then after that, does it go in the middle?
You would hope.
You would hope.
You would hope.
You would hope.
It goes so far one way, and then everyone's worked so hard to bring it back the other way, and you hope that it doesn't swing too far the other way. You hope that you can just somehow land somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's weird because like I think back to when I was 12, 14, however old I was, you know, and like 20 years ago, and it didn't seem like any of this type of shit was happening. That's on one hand, but also on the other hand, like I'm not paying attention to any of it for sure. I'm fucking skateboarding and trying to finger girls. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a fuck who the president is or what he's saying or any of that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, was it happening? Maybe. I don't know because I wasn't paying attention. Or was it not happening? I mean, just even not even knowing about politics whatsoever, but just the general feeling of walking around in the world right now, there's like a fear a little bit. There's like,
and you know it's because
feeling.
Of politics, though.
Yeah.
When we're younger, we never felt it, right? And even as we got older, we didn't really feel it. But I feel like now you have no choice but to feel it in all ages. It's affecting everyone. I wonder if is that my, like, obviously it's my job as a father to teach my son what I believe is the proper, I guess, politics or you know, how he's able to view it and come to his own understanding later when he becomes a young adult. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know if anyone's doing that out there. You know what I mean? I don't know if the families that are close are definitely doing it, I would say, you know?
Yeah. But it also just feels like people are taking their ideas of politics, they're like living and dying by it.
Yeah.
You know, like I have homies that I've known my whole life that are my boys that I love to death. And some of them are Democrats, some of them are Republicans. They debate about shit all the time. And then it's kind of over. It's like sometimes they're like, yeah, that makes sense, but like this. And then it's like, that makes sense, but this. And then we're all playing Super Smash Bros. And fucking around at the end of the day. Like it doesn't get in the way of the love we have for each other. So the beliefs are like, they have their beliefs, but it's not everything to them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's compromise. We know how to come to agree solutions or agreement or something like that. It's crazy because it is that sharp now. It is like, hey, there's people that, because I didn't know who I was voting for last election, because I was just like torn a little bit, that like stopped talking to me because they said that if I don't know that's a vote for Trump.
That's crazy.
And I was like, damn. I mean, and that was like multiple people that said that to me, not just one person. And I was like, damn, that means like it doesn't matter who it is. This guy's done. It doesn't matter, you know. And I think that, but that also means you don't matter. You don't know who you want to vote for. I'm not going to educate you why you should vote for this other person. I'm just not going to talk to you no more. You don't matter. You don't matter enough. This matters more. Fuck off, right? That's crazy.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.